Hello common people, this is a Common Guy Reviews and I am your lovely host Pepse. First of all, I am under a little flu, so sorry if it affects my voice somehow. My throat is in shambles, my head is full, and it's a pretty good time to get some sand between my ass cheeks to wombo combo this week to the end. A sudden decision I took off and went and watched Dune Part 1. It is a 2021 American epic science fiction film directed by Denis Villeneuve, who co-wrote the screenplay with John Spates and Eric Roth. First part of the two-part adaptation of the 1965 novel of the same name from Frank Herbert. Movie sets in a far distant future and follows a young man named Paul Atreides and his whole noble family. His mother is teaching him this weird power of talk or speech that can make people do whatever you want. The more powerful you are in this, the more you can make people do. The overarching plot is pretty up there, so I tried my best to simplify it. There is a ruler over the universe, Emperor Saddam IV. They assign a warrior race, Harkonians, to rule the planet Arrakis, that has peculiar spice on its surface that they can harvest and ship out. This spice is ritualistic hallucinogen that gives you higher awareness and vitality. This is used by the starship guides to see pathways in space to make interstellar traveling possible. So by these rules, this spice is the most valuable thing in the universe. In this desert planet we have its native people, Fremen, who have blue eyes because of the spice ooze they use in their ritualistic things. The Harkonnens are told to leave the planet Arrakis and the House of Atreides is put on it in their behalf. Everything is in shambles from equipment to the Harkonian plan to erase House of Atreides from the existence, supposedly because Emperor sees them as a threat. Paul, as an heir of the house, has dreams of wars and rebels rising up to their oppressors, and he is set to a long path of finding his own purpose and meaning in the world that is constantly in war on each other. There. I think that somehow explains it without me spoiling things too much for you. I like this movie. I like the world, I like how it sounded, I like the atmosphere of the desert and I like the architecture of things. Like they have these flying machines that look like dragonflies that have four wings that move in the same way that as dragonflies wings do. That's very cool. And the architecture of their houses were like big, huge boxes that were somehow like they would belong in there. The biggest thing in this world are the sandworms. That are the neutral threat that just destroy everything. These guys can grow over 400 meters long and be bigger than your house. Very cool design. I like big monsters and I cannot lie. Also, one thing that I have to mention is that the pacing was good. This is how you pace a movie. 2.5 hours of runtime and they just started Paul's story. This is the way you do it. I compared this to The Northman, where a main character had a little over 2 hours to grow from a child to adult, to train to be able to take revenge, to actually go there and take it. It is too fast, way too fast. This movie, Paul is still a kid, but now he is set to his own way, to his destiny. Just in the right piece, in the right time. Fight scenes were nice. Jason Momoa acted as a dear friend of Paul and a warrior, a role he is in his own element. Dave Bautista as a warrior in the baddie side, a role he too is born into. Girl who played Mary Jane in the Spider-Man Homecoming is now a mysterious girl in the tribe of Fremens who is part of the destiny Paul is part of. But one little thing bothered me. They said that sandworms are attracted by the stomps and thumbs of the desert. Yet they didn't seem to care. First I thought that because it's not the worm territory as they told us, but then worm came close to the city and wrecked stuff up, and I don't know where this territory even is. Paul and his mother were traveling the desert. They moved in a peculiar way, Fremens do, not to attract worms, but it looked awkward, and Paul's mother threw her back on the ground with an audible thump without any care. I hope that they will clarify these things in the next movie. I'm going to watch part 2 this Sunday, and next Friday I will pump out a review about it, so you have plenty of time to go and watch it by yourself to form a superior opinion about it. But this was my review about Dune Part 1, and I am your slightly flu-ridden host Pepse, and I'll see you in the next Friday with the next review. Goodbye.